So hi everyone. We're doing something a little bit different today. I'm chatting to two wonderful school teachers who both teach in the sciences aspect. And for me, that's really important. Often there's such a negative connotation around studying sciences, and the children feel, why do I need to do this? Or there's lots of pressure to do it from family or friends. And so, in terms of International Women and Girls Day, which was on Sunday, it's saying, let's explore this idea. So, Stephanie is from Holy Rosary and she teaches life sciences. And Taneal also works at Holy Rosary and she teaches physical sciences. So, ladies, in terms of yourselves, can you start off by telling us a bit about why you even studied these and wanted to teach them? Who'd like to begin?
Okay, I'll start. So I've always had a huge passion for biology, which back in my day was called biology. It's now life sciences. It was just easier for me to understand than most subjects at school. It always resonated with me. And there's always so many different chapters and varieties. So you can talk about or learn about all the way from microbiology to plants to animals. You can learn about how the environment works, evolution. So it's just so versatile. And yeah, it just allows you to learn so many things, which is lovely.
Oh, thank you. Taneal, and in terms of physical sciences?
So yeah, for me, again, it's a challenging subject. It just really helped to develop my thinking. So I really like to be challenged in that way. And that's why I chose science as a subject and specifically wanting to teach it because at school I had this really inspiring physical sciences teacher. And I always just knew that that's one of the pathways that I wanted to walk down as well, just seeing how inspiring she was. I mean, she was a kickboxer and she would pitch up to school with a blue eye and just this really amazing, almost like superwoman type of person. And I just always thought like, I'd really like to be someone like that. So that was it for me.
And I think that's really important as a teacher, isn't it? That so often the people who taught us influence us so much, one in our subject choices and then even in the long term in our careers. So both of those stories are really lovely. In terms of the learners within a school, what are the kinds of things you would say to a grade 9 as to, or even younger, as to why they should actually learn your particular subjects? So, Stephanie, if we go back to you, why do you think children should perhaps study the life sciences?
So I think when it comes to life sciences specifically, it is a STEM subject. It opens up so many doors to so many career pathways. It allows you to learn about your body. And if you're feeling unwell for some reason, you can sort of link the symptoms and know, should I go to the doctor? So for example, if I'm urinating a lot and I'm always thirsty, a lot of people just ignore that. But a lot of people that have done life sciences can know, oh, it could be diabetes. Let me go to the doctor. Let me sort that out. So you learn about how your body works. You learn about the environment and how to use it sustainably, which I think is so important nowadays. We can learn about evolution, where we came from. And it also allows us to have lifelong learning. So we're constantly learning something new. There's always new technologies available. And it's just a subject that never stops, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, that's lovely. That's just listening to those descriptions would probably inspire some children to say, oh, this looks exciting. I think I'd want to try that. So Taneal, from a physical sciences point of view, what would you say to a younger child? How would you encourage them to explore your subject?
So, it comes down to me, that age-old question of, why do they teach us this at school? Kids always ask that. I'm never going to do this again. And for science, it's not just actually about the theories that is taught in class. It's actually about the way you're thinking. So it's those critical thinking skills that we're developing in the science class. It's not just about the waves and Newton and all of that. So yeah, those critical thinking skills that's being developed just by exposing them to the science theories, just developing their understanding of the natural world, and absolutely just echoing from what Stephanie has just said. It's allowing them to observe what is happening in their daily life and being able to be interested and ask questions around that. And I mean, that's the basics. That's a scientific method that the kids follow all the time. So it's just implementing it in your daily life.
And I agree with you completely. So most of my life, I taught design and technology. And there, the thinking process is the same, where you're getting children to think and explore. And I think just that alone is getting children to think and ask questions is so important. And I think all the fields do that from a science point of view. In some shape or form, you're getting them to think beyond just the knowledge that's in their textbook or within the presentation that they've been shown. So if you now think of the children and going forward, what opportunities do you think there might be in terms of that, of careers, like specific careers that you think could link to what they've learned? I'm not sure who'd like to go first.
I can go first, no problem. So again, it opens a vast range of opportunities. So with life sciences, you can go into the medical fields, and that's to become a doctor, a nurse, an occupational therapist, a speech therapist, a vet, a dentist, any one of those. And I'm sure there are a lot more that I haven't mentioned. You can carry on with research. So if you go and study within a university, you can carry on with the academia and do your PhD and your postdocs, and you're constantly just doing research and publishing papers, which is important for everyone within the field. You can go into the pharmaceutical field industry, and you can research on diseases and drugs. And when I say drugs, I mean medicinal drugs and medicines, and how to use therapies. You can study stem cell research and genetic engineering, which are huge fields in the moment when it comes to therapy.
Yeah.
You can even go into environmental sciences. You can study water quality and plant breeding and animal breeding, or you can become a specific biologist in certain fields like microbiology, virology. You can become a geneticist, a marine biologist, a horticulturalist, which work with plants. You can even move into game reserves if that's what you enjoy. You can work at museums. You could become a teacher like we are. Again, you can work in the laboratories and test blood and do some forensic science. So it's really, really versatile, which is lovely.
So if we think about that, and you think about the world and talking about sustainable living and how do we keep the planet going, lots of those topics that you just mentioned lead straight into that in terms of what's going to happen to us in the future. How are we going to look after our planet? What are we doing to be proactive around that? So that's really important in terms of how we actually get the children to think about the world they live in and the impact we have in this world around us. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. Those are really useful thoughts. And Taneal, from your point of view, what kinds of careers from a physical sciences point of view?
So yeah, very similar to what Steph has said, but yeah, basically being able to be a research scientist, and again, that would be in any field, becoming an engineer, a mathematician, so within the STEM field as well. In terms of your health professions, traditionally becoming a doctor, which many of our kids still aspire to becoming doctors and developing their understanding there. Veterinary medicine also comes in, occupational therapy, physical therapy. So also just assisting them with research in terms of that as well is important. In terms of your biotechnology and pharmaceuticals, so there's obviously further research that's necessary there. So we've got our biotechnologists, your pharmaceutical researchers, your clinical researchers, your bioinformatics specialists. So yeah, just again, further information, further input is needed there. And especially for women, we need the woman's perspective sometimes as well in terms of tackling some of these issues that we have. There's even in terms of policy and advocacy where there's a space for additional research. So, for example, if we look at COVID-19, we need research, scientific-based research, to be able to put these policies forward. So there's definitely space for our women in science in these places.
Yeah, and I think the one that's different to what Stephanie said is the engineering kind of aspect. And I think that's also just as important. And so if we look at the students, would you recommend that students do both of these subjects, or do you think it works just to do one? What are your thoughts around that?
I think they complement each other, and a lot of the universities are moving towards their degrees, expecting the child to have both physical science and life sciences as part of these subjects. So a lot of the needs for entry is both subjects.
Okay. Steph, do you want to add anything there?
No, Taneal's 100% right with what she's saying. I know back in the day, just to get into the medical field, you just needed physical sciences. Obviously, having the life sciences gives you a step up. Although you didn't need it to get into university, it obviously helps when you do those subjects. But I think Taneal's right that now they are looking more at both.
Oh, thank you. So if we had to take what you've just said, what nuggets of information would you give to a young child who's not sure whether they should do a commercial type field or a sciences type field? Why would you encourage a young girl to go into the sciences field? So as to end off, have you got a thought that you could share?
So I would say it's all about being happy. So if you are passionate in any one of these fields, then go for it. But if you're doing it just to make your parents happy, or because you're going to make or try to make money later on, I don't think it's worth it. So if you've got the passion, then go into it. Not all of these fields are going to make you billionaires or make you a lot of money. So I think passion has to be the number one driving factor.
Thank you. And Taneal, what would you suggest?
Absolutely. So agreed with what Stephanie's just said. If it is your passion, go. Just because your parents are encouraging you to do it, that's definitely not the reason to do it. So there is space for our new ways of thinking. So if you're a confident young lady, there's space for you within the science field for you to be able to make your space. So, yeah.
So thank you both for your time. I really appreciate it. And the thoughts that you've given are really, really wonderful. Thank you.
And thank you so much for having us. It was a really wonderful opportunity.
Yes, thank you very much.
Bye-bye, everyone.